And joining us now to discuss the significance of Governor DeSantis's visit and more is Gideon Israel, founder and president of the Jerusalem-Washington Center. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So before we talk about Governor DeSantis, I want to address the U.S. Congress pro-Israel bill. There was a growing amount of Democrats voting against this bill, even though the vast majority of Congress voted really overwhelmingly in favor. What's your take on this?
So this was a House resolution, really a generic House resolution supporting Israel on its 75th anniversary. There really wasn't much to be against. Like I said, it was generic, saying that we support Israel, the economic relationship, the security relationship, Abraham Accords. So to vote against it, either you have to be kind of against the U.S.-Israel relationship or have something, serious beef with some part of the bill. But I think while we saw Congress's support for Israel, I think something that's a little bit more concerning was what was reported today in Israel Hayom, that defense officials have been expressing a concern over the fact that the U.S. is taking its pre-positioned stockpiles in Israel, which are supposed to either serve the U.S. in a time of war in the Middle East or serve Israel if it has a war, and they've shipped them to Ukraine. I mean, these shipments started already a few months ago while Lapid was prime minister, but now the stockpiles, according to the report, have seriously dwindled. And you would wonder, Israel is potentially facing a forefront war in the not so much near future, meaning from the north, from Iran, from the south with Gaza, and potentially also within Judea and Samaria. So the fact that the United States government, this current administration, would take these weapons from a potential war, prone region and bring them to Ukraine makes you wonder if the support for Israel goes beyond the rhetoric that we hear. Because in action, we're seeing something that could potentially endanger Israel.
So this certainly raises questions about the Biden administration's support of Israel's security. In contrast, we're seeing Governor DeSantis here in Israel showing really tremendous support for Israel. What is the purpose of his visit now?
It's expected that he is going to announce that he's running for president after this visit. Oftentimes, United States candidates who are going to run for president, governors or senators or whomever, will make a foreign policy type of trip. And DeSantis has gone to South Korea, Japan. Now he's in Israel, and he'll be going to Great Britain, all strong U.S. allies, kind of to show or demonstrate foreign policy ability. So that's what people see the trip as, although it's not definitive that he is going to run for president. There's a lot of speculation around that, especially since Trump has been racking up so many endorsements and that he's so far ahead in the polls. And it certainly will not be a pleasant fight for that nomination.
Mm-hmm. And now we also met with Prime Minister Netanyahu. What was on the agenda?
Well, I'm sure they talked about Iran. That's probably the main thing. Florida is behind Israel 100%, for just about everything, whether it be economics, support of Judea and Samaria, everything BDS. So they probably talked about Iran, but I think one of the lessons that Israel's politicians can learn from Governor DeSantis is that here you had a governor who was elected in his first term by 30,000 votes in a swing state, and by keeping his promises, by implementing common sense policies and also conservative policies, he governed so well that he was rewarded by winning re-election by 1.5 million votes, an astonishing accomplishment. So I hope that Israel's politicians, Israel's current right-wing government, can learn from him that they should also implement their promises, their election promises, whether it be the judicial reform, restoring safety to the streets, cost of living and reducing government regulations. And hopefully Israel's politicians can learn from what the governor of Florida has done.
All right. Gideon Israel, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you.